I can't anymore. I can't anymore. I've just watched I watched a couple of minutes of this. I can't speak about it. I can't talk about it. I just watched a couple of minutes of this thing from a channel called Back to the Science by this doctor. I remember her from Twitter. I've seen her in other contexts. Dr. Susan Oliver. The strange parallels between Lucy Letby supporters and anti-vaxxers. And there's a dog in it called Cindy. Nothing against the dog. The dog would have sense. I know it. I know that poor dog. That dog would have sense, but it's just, oh my God, and the voice and everything. Oh God, I can't believe it's possible. I'm talking about the psychopathic, and I'm talking about the demonic realms here. We fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, whether it's crime scene and courtroom, whether it's that so-called justice minister, whether it's Starmer, whether it's this ridiculous scientist creature. What has science become? What is it a byword for now? Well, it's been hijacked. It's been hijacked by the most weirdest, strangest, sickest people. I just put it up on the community notes. This, what is it called? Back to the science. No, back to the witch burning. Back to the witch burning. Just imagine that on a jury. Just imagine crime scene to courtroom on a jury. Somebody or anybody of those in those comment sections on a jury talking about Lucy Letby, a young woman buying a house that happens to be near a cemetery. We're fucked. We're fucked with these people. If your life is in their hands, if your liberty is in their hands on a bloody jury with these nutters, we're fucked with these people. And you tie that alongside this necrotic, dead zombie system called the criminal justice system and the absurd, broken police force who will stitch anybody up, amoral, moral-free zone of the police. Lying is second nature to so many of them. There are exceptions, but those exceptions are usually pushed out or broken down themselves as individual officers. This I knew, and I've always felt it from the beginning. This goes to the heart of the rot in this country and the rot in this world. This is a fight of good against evil. And this is a very strong manifestation of it, this case. This story, this horror story. The principal emotion I felt when it gripped me in the autumn of 2023 and the summer as well is one of horror at what they can do. And I'm dealing in my personal life with the most stupid individuals that I've got to appeal to act responsibly in terms of the law at the moment as well. And I know what they're like. I know how they're completely absent of any ethics at all. And lying is their lifeblood. They live on lies. They live on the weakness of the parasitical nature of them. I couldn't watch all that video. Oh my God, it's like staring into the abyss. It is the abyss. And as they say, if you stare into the abyss stares back into you. And I'm dealing with that in my personal life at the moment. And I'm right on the edge, to be honest. And it all chimes in with what's happening in the world at large, with these manufactured wars and this utter disregard for human life in so many areas. And the caprice of these so-called educated people and these systems which they're rotten to the core. They're rotten. The stench from them is just overwhelming. It's sulfuric. Sulfuric, is that a word? I can't. No, I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just you reach a point of anger. You reach a point of disgust where you just got to start laughing because it's a safety valve. But look, though, look the strange parallels between Lucy Letby supporters and anti-vaxxers. What the fuck? What the fuck are these people on about? This is a scientist. What? Oh my God. Well, we know how science, so-called science, it was a thing. It was a thing, and it still is a thing for people. You don't hear the actual scientists anymore. That's why they ostracized David Bellamy. He was an actual scientist, but they did for him because he wasn't going along with the story that they wanted. Everything's been hijacked. Publishing's been hijacked. Film. I'm not saying that they're independent filmmakers, of course, and it's not about all them, but entertainment, music, it's all been hijacked by evil, actually. And science and medicine, so-called medicine, which is actually making most people sick, and food and what they're doing to water and what they're doing to the land, what they want to spray over everything, what they want to inject into cows, into meat, what they're doing with the weather. This is all part of the same continuum. I'm absolutely apoplectic because I am a lot of the time anyway because of personal things going on, and in some way there's a kind of a echo in all this and what's happened over the last 5 years, but longer, but it's always been going on. It's always been going on. We are ruled by psychopaths. We're ruled by evil people. And they have many apparatchiks around them that are just, they're useful idiots and useful helpers. But that's the status. That's the state we're in. It's got to be. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for to change this? What are we going to do? You know, I'll leave it there before I just know that it just tipped me over watching that. I couldn't watch it more than a couple of minutes. And the voice is straight out of hell. It's out of hell. The banality of it. It's out of hell. And there's so much of this banality of evil going on. The banality of evil. A very powerful phrase and a very true phrase, and that's the majority of its manifestations. And now and again, you see the full mask reveal, and you see the full demon you're dealing with, like in that film with Al Pacino, I think, where there's two people in a lift, and you just suddenly see who was the other guy in it? Wasn't Tom Cruise? Or was it anyway? Whoever the other actor was, the Devil's Advocate, and then you see these. Sort of characters, and they are demons, but you just see them briefly, and then they go back to this human face. Jesus wept. I'm just stuck. This is something, and there's so many manifestations of this across the world, in so many ways. How they constructed that war in the Ukraine to kill the majority of the men and Russian soldiers as well, of the men of the Ukraine, pushed by NATO. And then getting everybody to hang these flags out in the same way they got people to bang pots on a Thursday evening. I'm done with. We've got to. I don't know what to do. We've got to rise up. I'm going to make a cup of tea first, and then I'm going to rise up. I'll have a cup of tea and a bit of toast, and then I'm going to rise up. I don't know what to do. I don't know what we're going to do. What can we do? Because we're locked into these systems, and they own the means of producing food, and they own all the land. Essentially, and they can levy taxes even if you're not. There's nowhere to go, is there? We need a. As I said, I think in a video the other night, I was listening to a Canadian radio station based in Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland. We need Newfoundland. We need somewhere else to go. We need somewhere else to go that isn't this. It's crying Our human spirits are crying for something different. And there are psychopaths dotting up all around us, I believe. A kind of zombification. It's like some fucking dystopia on steroids, on stilts. I'm not. It's not funny, but you're seeing it. I mean, I've had these meltdowns over these last number of years, a number of times. Went through about eight or nine Twitter accounts, and it's just, I don't know. But that video, Jesus wept. That video, back to the science. That makes crime scene to courtroom look like, I don't know, Perry Mason or Petrocelli. You remember Petrocelli? He was like a lawyer. There's a series back in the late 70s. And he was living in a flat or something, but he was building a house out in the desert bit by bit, brick by brick. So every episode you go out and visit his house he's building. Petrocelli. It's a good series. I look back upon those years, I was born in the 60s, but the 70s, obviously, I remember more, and 80s. I look back on them with great fondness, and we've, Blair was definitely a node point of evil coming in, or evil ramping up. Blair was. But anyway, whatever. I don't do left and right. I don't do left and right stuff. I don't do these binaries that they've created to create thought-stopping cliches for us. These false binaries. I don't do all that. I can't do it. But we've got to use language somehow. But we're dealing with evil. We're dealing with evil in so many ways now. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I'm going to have a bit of toast, maybe a bit of Marmite on it. And then it's time for the bloody revolution. Come on, comrades, we can do it. Tooting Popular Front.